everybody. Welcome to my presentation. I was supposed to be in Philadelphia today, and obviously we're not there. So I was speaking on the main stage at the International Congress of Aesthetics and Spa. And of course that's not happening. So we are here to do that live for you. And I'm excited to be sharing with you my topic, which is about face mapping and how important that is in recognizing what's going on with our client's skin. And so for all you esties and non-esties, I'm going to get Mika from LE Online, the International Congress. I'm going to get her online right now. So let's get her here. And I'm just looking for Mika. Okay, Mika, are you there? Let's see if she's going to join. She's there with us right now. Mika, are you there? Can you request to come in? Let me just see if we can. There we go. Okay, waiting for Mika to come on.
Hi.
How are you? So
good.
Great.
So
Great
excited.
It's exciting. Yes, I mean, I'm so excited that we can do this and I can still show my presentation, and thank you for being there to have my presentation showing it as we go along here.
We're so thankful that you're able to take time out of your day, and I mean, we can all be here. Wow, got almost 100 people on here really quick already. But
Yeah.
We're so excited. Today we would have been in Philadelphia at our trade show, and
yep.
You know, you always put on the best main stage presentations, so we can't wait to hear everything about facial mapping, and I won't say too much, but so I'll be following along with you
here. So what I want to do, for a lot of you that don't know my background and where I come from, is obviously I have an accent. I am from Australia. I have been an esthetician for 41 years, or actually almost 42 years. And I'm just wondering, yeah, okay, 42 years. I started when I was 17 years old, and I was really fortunate enough to be able to, I'm just wondering, Mika, do you have your sound on?
I do.
Oh, maybe can you turn that off, because I can hear noise through there. There we go. So I started when I was 17 years old, and the beauty school that I went to, actually, they did not even believe in things like extractions. So it was a French school that I went to. It was called Clay Therapy, and it was a really great school, and it taught us how to be ever so professional with so many things. But obviously sterilization being a really important one, which is so important in the work that we do. And I after leaving school, I just went out and I studied a lot more. And I think that it's something that's really important to understand, to be able to understand what we need to be able to understand about skin. You have to continue to study in different areas. And so what I did was I did, kinesiology. I did my degree in iridology, which is reading the irises. I, was up in the mountains meditating over bush essences with Ian White. And I did nutrition. I studied a lot of nutrition. So basically for 12 years, I studied a lot. And so what I found, what happened with being able to do this, was that it really helped me to be able to understand the skin so much more. So it was something that was really important for me to want to know more, to be able to learn and understand, because I wanted to understand why people were getting pimples in certain areas of their face. And I wanted to understand why somebody was aging quickly in certain areas and yet other areas were better. So it was a very important time for me, because I was really trying to find out and just looking for anything and everything to be able to help me to be better at what I do and to be able to help my clients, you know, more. So it was not enough just to have all these treatment products and home care regimens to be able to advise people. It was something that I really was reaching for the stars, and fortunately, being something that I'm obviously incredibly passionate about, it has become more and more important to me as I've got older, is just being able to really try to find answers, and answers for people that aren't crazy, you know, answers where, you know, they're not having to have to go and have, you know, different things done to their face in an aggressive way. So I'm going to start here with the face mapping and how face mapping, this, by the way, you know, if you go on Google face mapping, you're going to find there are many different types of faces, and it's going to tell you different areas. We're not all the same. So my face mapping that I'm going to be showing and sharing with you is from my hands-on, over 100,000 facials and over 42 years of just working with people. So it's something that has, it's been my life's experience to know this and know it so well. It's how I'm able to get results so quickly now. So, you know, when I see something in somebody's face, something going on, I can very quickly go there and eliminate foods that I know are interfering with that, and having that conversation with my client about what it all means, you know. So it's really important to understand that everybody's different, and you know, it's important to really, when you get your client on the table, you are able to have a look at their skin, talk to them, communicate to them about what it is that, you know, what it is that they're experiencing, and just how do they feel about their skin. And, you know, food definitely affects the skin. And so their diet, their, you know, their, where they come from, where we come into this world with weakened organs, and everybody does, you know, maybe your mother, your grandfather, somebody had high cholesterol, or they had diabetes is another very common one. So we, you know, we are born, we come into this world with weakened organs. So it's important to recognize that, and therefore that's why that communication with your client is so important, to find out what it is that's going on with them. And, you know, when you look at their skin, to be able to sort of detect things and help steer them through that. So let's go to our first. I'm so sorry. I know all of you are from all over the UK. Thank you, everybody that's putting, asking questions and things here. It's so great, but I'm going to just continue with the presentation, and I'm sorry I can't answer all your questions as I'm going here, but I want to get a lot of information out to you today. So, so Mika, could we have the actual picture of the face come up now, please? There we go. And the next one, the one that has the area showing. Okay, thank you. This is great. I'm so glad you could do this to help me. This was going to be my screen presentation. Okay, so what we have here and what you can see on screen is the eye area, the stomach. Now, you know, what's really great about, you know, and how easy it is for us esties, or even non-esties, for you non-esties watching, is whenever you see something going on around the eye area, whether it be they have dark circles, whether they have puffiness, whether they have wrinkles. And I can show you just some pictures here as Mika moves up again onto a picture, if you don't mind, Mika. But, you know, all of these things indicate the stomach area. So here's one of my models that you may have seen on my YouTube channel, and his name actually is Micah. And Micah was somebody who, he's a young guy, but he was really lacking with a lot of volume. He needed that area worked a lot. He also, wasn't great with his diet. He was, was in the army, and he was, not eating great, obviously. And I think, and he tells you this too, so I'm not saying something I shouldn't be, but, he was drinking and very abusive with his own body. And so what Micah really suffered was he had a lot of darkness around his eye area, and he also, had puffiness. And so what happens when people start to have puffiness and dark circles, this is all the stomach area. And it's often, again, a weakened area that when you get stressed, it's an area that actually attacks your body. So stress is not just a word, but it does attack our weakened areas in our body. So for someone who gets stressed, all of a sudden their stomach, it's not working the same. So all that hydrochloric acid in the stomach, it's not breaking down foods like it should be. So what I recommend for people that either are, getting puffy around the eyes, they have dark circles around the eyes, is number one, they need to get movement there. Because understand that our bodies are more than 70% water. And as we get older, that does decline. But it's really important to keep things moving. You've got to keep that stream, that water, that stream moving for it to stay clean and healthy. Because when it becomes still, it gets rancid. And that's why, the water in a dam looks so muddy, whereas the water in a stream looks so clean and beautiful. So it's really important to get movement. And a lot of people, they don't move their face. They don't, they're not manipulating, they're not massaging it. So it's important to get movement around that eye area. So whether it be that you're using an eye cream or an eye gel, it's really important that you work that into the eyes. And if you are somebody that does get puffiness under your eye, you have to take it out this way when you're putting on your eye product, because you want to drain it away from your tear duct, and you want to drain it down. Obviously, we have our big, our lymph nodes, our big lymph nodes here under our armpits, down around our groin area. You want to do some drainage. You want to get movement. For anybody that's just dark around the eye area, if you stretch the skin, you can see the blue vein there. So as our skin gets thinner as we get older, that's what happens. It's really important, again, you want to protect it. It's important that you use an eye product around your eyes, because what an eye product does is it protects your skin. So the movement, the eye product itself protects the skin. This is really, really important. And you can't change an eye area if you're not working it. It's very important that you work that eye area with your eye product, whatever it is, whether it be a gel or whether it be a cream. It's important that you work that eye area. So get movement there. That's going to help the lymph. It's going to move out the lymph. And what is the lymph? The lymph is, it's something that it gets rid of toxins for us. It's what I call the garbage disposal in the body. It's a really important function, and it's really important for keeping us healthy. It's so important. I've got the little mini rebounders at home that, you see a lot of the athletes using too. And I have this vibrating machine that you stand on, these vibrating plates. And that really helps the lymphatic system. It helps movement. And that's really, really important to be doing that every single day. So the eye area is something that this is important. And the other thing is that when you get a lot of wrinkles around the eye, like you're looking at somebody's face and you're saying, wow, their skin's so pretty, their neck looks great, their décolleté, but wow, gosh, they're aging so quickly around their eye area. And so it's really important to understand that that's another reason as to why it's somebody's sensitive area in their body. So once you've established somebody's sensitive area, in this case their stomach, then what you can do is you can talk to them about their diet. And what I usually recommend to people is that, it's better if you are having a salad, don't have 10 or 12 different vegetables in that salad, because each food has its own enzyme chain. And once you eat that same food all the time, or you eat a bunch of different foods at one time, it's really hard for the body to break that down, especially the older we get. You know, it doesn't work as easy. It's not as easy to get things moving. So it's really important to just, it's not about the amount of what you're having. It's about the types of foods that you're having. Make sure that you're not having too many different things at one time. And you know, when they say, you know, drink water 20 minutes, 30 minutes before you eat or after, not during the time you're eating, then that's really important too. That does help digestion when you're not drinking water at the same time you are food. I think the only thing that they say really helps break down meats and things when you're is red wine. So, you know, that is something that is a positive for some people, not for me, because I'm highly allergic, but you know, it's something that really helps people to break down their food. So that is something that is really important to understand. So when somebody's aging around the eye area, they've got dark circles, they've got puffiness in that area, it's really important to use your product, use it daily, morning and night, AM and PM. You should be putting something around your eye area and get that movement going on. Don't be afraid to massage your skin, because massage stimulates muscle tone. It brings oxygen to the blood, but it also stimulates muscle tone. So, you know, obviously you don't want to be too heavy-handed, and you can certainly pat, as some products will recommend just patting, tapping it in. But I am a huge believer in getting movement, massaging that area. It's really important. And so what we did with Micah here on the screen is we started getting a lot of movement in his skin, and I gave him some home care products to take care of that. And then Mika, if you wouldn't mind just showing our aftermath of Micah, which is not any strong peels or anything. It's just good home care. And it was having him do his face every single night. I did give him a mild retinol. He was, you know, really sort of doing his regimen. And as you can see in his before and after, it's really very dramatic. And, you know, Micah's actually a hairdresser, and he worked at my salon. And one day when I went in there, I just said to him, oh my God, can I please help you with your skin? Because I know I can do so much. So there you go, guys. This is Micah. This is what I was able to do with Micah's skin. I think I gave him maybe 4 facials, and it, of course, is on my YouTube anyway. But basically, you can see just how much and what we did for Micah's skin. And even after this, he said, you know what? I think I'm going to go back to modeling. And he's such a handsome, wonderful man, and I was so happy to be able to help him. So that was Micah. So then we have another one, Mika, if you wouldn't mind moving on to the next photo. And this is Claudia. Now, Claudia is a beautiful person. I've known her a really long time. And she is somebody that has had eczema around her eye, dermatitis. She's had both eczema and dermatitis. She's experienced this a lot around her eye area. So she's someone who really can't do a lot. And again, what does that tell me? It means that I know her stomach area is very sensitive. Now, there's different types of eczema. There's the eczema that's topical eczema that you get when you use a makeup that isn't great for you, okay? And that could be anything. Often it could be, you know, I won't say brands, but I've certainly mentioned them in the past, ones that have a lot of, you know, makeup's not great for the skin always, right? So it not only has a lot of chemicals in it, but it uses a lot of the little tiny fish scales, and some people are very sensitive to that. So it's important to understand that, you know, sometimes if you do get that red, dry, flaky on the eyes, that it very likely could be an eye makeup that you're using, or even an eye cream. You know, I always tell people, don't use retinols around your eyes, not too strong. If you're using something, make it, you know, do a little boost once every 2 weeks with a mild retinol, never prescription strength, always over the counter. but don't be using a retinol around your eyes every single day, because, you know, it thins the skin. Our skin gets thinner as we get older. You don't want to go there. It's a very hard area to do a lot with, and still look natural. Okay, so you know, if you are experiencing eczema or dermatitis, you know, as I said, for Claudia, this was a huge problem. So this then stopped a lot of products, being able to use a lot of products on her skin, because her skin was so sensitive and so delicate. And ultimately, you know, when somebody has eczema or dermatitis, they really need to have a prescription cream, and that you get from your dermatologist. A prescription cream that's going to help with that area. And a lot of the time, because around the eye area, it is around the eyes, it's a very, very delicate, sensitive area anyway. You know, they're going to be very careful about what they give you for that eye area. So, you know, again, if you do have eczema around your eyes, put your makeup aside, maybe try the mineral makeups. They're the ones that I usually recommend. La Belladonna, fantastic. Color Science, Jane Iredale. These are ones that are true minerals that I use on my own skin, and I love them because I can work out and sweat. I say it's an extension from my facial, and I really love mineral makeup. So it doesn't give that as much of a glam look as a lot of makeups. That's why a lot of makeup artists do not love the minerals. But on an everyday, and especially if you're an oily skin, mineral makeups are amazing. And if you're someone who's very sensitive around the eye area, you really need to be using something that's natural, you know. As when I say natural, and I say that word, and at the same time I'm going, why did I just say that word? But natural is not all what it makes out to be, and still natural isn't perfect for everybody. Okay, we are all allergic to things, and that's important to recognize. So Claudia was someone who we had to work very slowly with her eye area, and really, you know, try to help her with her eczema. She also would get a little bit of dermatitis around the corners of her nose. Dermatitis can sometimes be a little bit weepy. Note, please, I am not a doctor. I am just someone that has worked with my hands and seen a gazillion faces in my life. Fortunately, I'm able to recognize things. But again, I'm not a doctor, and for, you know, correct analysis or diagnosis with this, one does need to go to a dermatologist. Okay, I am an esthetician and very proud to be one. So that's that. But the little around the corners of the eyes is often stress related, and a lot of eczema and dermatitis is stress related. Again, it's, you know, when things come up on certain areas of the face, and it's stress related, then that is an area that's a weakened area for you. So it doesn't mean there's anything wrong or anything bad. It just means it's a weakened area for you. And you know, there's things that you can do. Maybe it's Louise Hay. You know, I'm a huge believer in affirmations, and once you verbalize them, you're confirming them. It's really important, you know, whether it's a form of meditation, whatever it is that you do that helps take you to that place of feeling good. And I'm a visual person, so I'm visualizing organs and sending my little guys there to get rid of bad toxins. I mean, I've got all my own little crazy things that I do that have helped me, tools I call them, over the years, which are very powerful for me. So again, eye area, stomach, and it's a sensitive area. You know, eat not all too many foods at one time. Maybe eat more often than not, or, you know, just sort of be careful about what you're eating, that it's not too many at one time. That's the most important thing, is don't have too many different things at one time. It puts a lot of work on your stomach to break that down. So that's Claudia, and I think we have an after photo of Claudia. Claudia, I'd worked with her 2 or 3 times on her face. See the color on her eyelid. It does look like eye makeup. It is not. It is the color of her eyelid. And she has a lot of color, so she needed movement. We did get movement there. We got rid of some of her darkness around her eyes. I'm going to say probably 30-40%, which is quite dramatic. So that's what I was able to do just with her home care regimen. Okay, so that again is an eye product that's really simple, no retinols, no AHAs, just something really simple, but getting movement there, and her using her prescription cream occasionally too, to help with her dermatitis when there was flare-ups. So usually if you have dermatitis and or eczema, and you cannot use other products right at that time, you have to go and use that prescription cream for the next 2 or 3 days, and that's it. You can't use anything else. You need to nip it when it flares up, because if you don't nip it, it's not going to go away. So other products are not going to help. You need to have your prescription cream for eczema and dermatitis. And again, you're only going to need the tiniest amount. And I always tell people, put it on with a toothpick, not even a Q-tip, a toothpick. That's how little you need. And you put it all the way, just a tiny bit, just around your eye area. And the doctor should tell you anyway, this is a strong product. You need to be careful around your eye area. So that was Claudia. Thank you, Mika, for the photo. We'll move on to the next one now. And I'm going to move now into the stomach region. So we're going to go down. So we've got stomach. I'm sorry, we're going to be moving small intestine. We've completed stomach, which is this area. We're now going to move down into the small intestine, which is this area. And this is an area for us Estes that we can really do a lot with. I mean, Mika, if we can move on down to the next picture, maybe the one, there we go. Okay, now this is Kelly. And again, a lot of you may have seen Kelly on my YouTube channel. Kelly was somebody who ate a lot of dairy and loved dairy. And whenever you get this area here in the face, whenever you have people come in and they have tiny little bumps under their skin, they're not pimples, they're not pustules, they're not papules, but they're these bumps. It's a lot of congestion under here and they just stay there. Now, this is very, very often dairy related, and that is cheese, milk, obviously, chocolate. I also put into this egg yolks, which is not a dairy, but egg yolks is another fatty product that some people just can't break down. So I want to say something that's a little unusual right here, but I want to just explain something to you, that for me personally, if I can eat dairy and I can eat anything from a cow, okay? I can't eat other things. But if I eat dairy, my cholesterol is low. If I eat things that I shouldn't eat for my body constitution, like lettuce and peaches and plums, my cholesterol is high. So I'm going to do another video on this. I'm not going to go into this too much today, but I want to point out to you that some people can eat dairy and be perfectly fine and not have any congestion, and their body works with it. Mine does, okay? I can eat egg yolks, not egg whites. Unusual, right? But that's what is something that is, again, another topic. I will do another video about this one. But it's important that you understand that everybody's different, okay? And so for this area here, this is small intestine. This is Kelly not being able to digest dairy. The other foods that I put in that is, for Kelly, I said no peanut butter, of course, no dairy, no soy milk also, because soy milk is something, again, our bodies just can't break it down. A lot of us can't. And I know there's another food, your omegas. Now, although people have said to me before, but Nerida, omegas are so good for you. And I say to you, yes, they are for a lot of people. But for some people, the fish oils, they can't break it down and it doesn't work for them. So once we got Kelly off the dairy and I gave her some good home care regimen, which wasn't a bunch of things. Mind you, she did go through a lot of extractions. I am a huge believer in extractions. And if you want your skin to clear up quickly, and you want to get rid of congestion and keep your pore size small, you have to do extractions. You have to have them done, okay? It's very, very important. So what I did with Kelly was, I think I may have done 5 facials on her, at least 4 or 5. And what happened was I was able to get rid of it all. I took her off her diet, her dairy and the foods that I mentioned to you, and we completely changed her skin. And this is something that is long-term, okay? This is something that Kelly, as long as she stays away from those foods, because those foods do not support her system. Once I took her off those foods, her skin has been amazing ever since. And I'm going to show you some pictures of Kelly moving forward. If Mika, if you could. Yes, I saw someone say extractions. You're absolutely, extractions are so important. And I have been called the extraction queen, I want you to know. In my videos, I don't show a lot of it. It is very time consuming. I work very fast with extractions, and I don't even like to talk when I'm doing extractions, because that skin up as much as I possibly can, and to, you know, to be able to get through this as much as possible. I think, did I just lose Mika? I think I may have. Let me see if let me see if I can get her back on screen here. Okay, where is she? Okay, let's see. Sorry guys, we're just adding Mika back in here. She's kind enough to show my presentation for me that I was doing on the slide. There we go. Yeah.
Sorry about that. Got a call from the office.
Oh, no problem.
Back to
there
you.
We go. Okay, so we're going to Mika, if you don't mind, if we could move up and show Kelly's before and after now. Kelly's someone that I did treat about how long ago? Must be almost like 2 years ago when I first started with her. I see her about once every 6 months. She comes in, she's a hairdresser, and she's just an amazing girl. I mean, you know, we all know that what we can do when we change people's skin, they come back, they're so confident, they're out, you know, in her case, she went for job interviews. She's just a different person. She looks beautiful, and this is Kelly. She's maintains her fantastic skin. So that's Kelly, and that's small intestine. Okay, so now we're going to move to the large intestine, which is down here, this area down here. So Mika, if you don't mind moving down, we're going to move on to another picture of, oh, this one here actually is another one. Stomach, very delicate, very sensitive stomach. This is Christina. If we can show her after, Mika as well. And hers was Christina was challenging. Challenging because she had some health issues, and her skin was just very sensitive, very delicate, and sometimes it takes longer. It doesn't always happen, you know, 2 or 3 facials and, you know, 2 months into home care. It doesn't always happen where it completely goes. And Christina's was really challenging, but you know, she's doing great now. And in fact, we had to sort of play with some different products for her, because, you know, again, not all products work for everybody. So, you know, we had to sort of play and pull in some different things to help her here. So now we're going to move down to the large intestine, Mika, if you don't mind. Oh, no, that's a melasma one, I think. No. Oh, okay. Yeah, let's move. Okay, I'm sorry. We're showing more pictures here of small intestine.
Okay.
This area here being very well. That's Juliet. Yeah, she was another small intestine one. We're going to move down. There's one around the jaw, just around the jaw, Mika, if you can show that one. There we go. Thank you. That's the one. Okay. This one here was Daniela. And Daniela was someone who she experienced a lot of the hormonal painful nodules. And what do we know about painful nodules? We know that they are always to do with the hormones. So you can get a painful pimple anywhere on your face, and what that means is it's to do with your hormones. So, you know, again, if you are someone who gets a painful nodule because you're stressed, remember, stress is not just a word. It actually attacks our weakened areas. So in this case, someone who it affects their hormones. And when you get a lot of painful nodules, if you get stressed, then that's it. Your stress is affecting your hormone levels. It's that male hormone that really makes, you know, oil go more crazy, right? So so with Daniela, she had the really painful nodules, like painful cysts that she would get that was so painful to the touch. And often people think that this is a really tough skin, but it's not. It's a very delicate skin because people have done a lot to it already, you know. And I remember Daniela saying to me, she said, would say every time, you know, I'd be on the street and someone would come up to me and say, oh my gosh, you know, there's this product out there. I know it's really been helpful. And she would say, I've already used it, you know. And so for people that really experience acne and experience in a bad, you know, intense way, and I don't like that word bad, sorry, an intense way, is that, you know, they've tried a lot of things and it's really disheartening. So, you know, it's important to understand that, you know, certain foods are, you know, culprits for this. So people that get, you know, the really big painful nodules, you know, sometimes when it's hormonal, sometimes that's when you have to stay away from things that are high in hormones, which are the things like, you know, meats. So maybe more kind of eating more vegetables and things is really the way to go here, and stay away from things that are highly injected with hormones, because that can really, you know, play havoc on your skin. So, so Daniela was someone, she also, you know, when your skin isn't healthy and you're not using the right products, because maybe you've stripped it back with everything drying, trying to dry up the acne, the skin's not healthy. It doesn't recover well. It doesn't heal quickly. So in Daniela's case, what was happening was she'd get a pimple, and that pimple would just stay there for a long time, but also the mark that was left as a result. She has a really pretty olive skin, and the darker the skin tone, the harder it is for those marks to go away. So it was really important when working with Daniela that we were feeding the skin, feeding it a lot of nutrients, and you've all heard me talk about feeding the skin nutrients. It's such an important thing to do. But at the same time, you know, to heal her skin, to keep her skin healthy, you cannot heal a skin if it's not healthy. It doesn't matter how much acne is on there. You have to get the skin healthy. And often that's going back to basics and getting them back to basics, getting their skin healthy, getting it flexible and dewy and not stripped and taut. And, you know, you've got to feed it. And by feeding it, it's what helps the skin to be pretty. It helps the skin to heal quickly, and that's what we want. We want the skin to heal quickly. If you go and get a cortisone shot in a pimple, which a lot of people do, those painful nodules, they'll go get a cortisone shot. That cortisone can often leave it whole. So if you don't have a hole from the beginning of it, you could get one later, because what that does is it damages the dermal layers. So you want to be really careful. You don't want to be getting shots into pimples. You want to recognize why you're getting these pimples, where they're coming from, and working with product to help that. You've got to have a healthy skin. And I'm telling you, if your skin isn't healthy, your skin is going to be pitted and it's not going to be even and pretty. So having a healthy skin is really important for all of us, whether you've got acne or you don't. You have to have a healthy skin for it to heal. And that's what I had to do with Daniela. I had to get her skin healthy so that as I'm working with her acne, the skin is healing well, and I'm, you know, it's recovering quickly. Her marks, her scarring isn't staying. So we were able to move Daniela's skin to a different level. Mika, if you wouldn't mind just showing that picture. There we go. It's not, she still had some pitting there. I think I did 4 or 5 facials on her again during this time. Daniela is somebody actually that I met in a coffee shop, and she was studying to be an esthetician, and she recognized me from my YouTube channel, and I said, I would love to help you, and would you be a model? And that's how she became my model. So she still has a little bit of pitting, but we had improved her skin so much that, I mean, she's a gorgeous girl, and inside and out, and we were just able to change her life, you know, really dramatically. Because I remember I did a workshop, and Daniela was in one of my students at the workshop, and I'm showing her photos on the screen, and nobody recognized that was her behind, you know. So it was really funny, and I'm so grateful that to be able to have helped her, because we were able to do leaps and bounds with her skin. So the next one is Mika, if you wouldn't mind moving to around the mouth area. Oh, okay, no, thank you. If you this one here, also Twee, my beautiful friend. that I worked with. She's an extraordinary massage therapist, Twee, and I was able to help her with some old acne scarring. And, you know, by introducing mild retinols into her regimen, and just by giving her a regimen. I mean, you know, a lot of the time it's for, you know, for us Estes, I mean, it's prescribing. We have to prescribe home care. It's so important. You cannot have change in the skin if people are not using home care. And I myself changed my own skin 10 years ago from just adding retinols in my regimen every single day. And again, never prescription. I never recommend prescription. I want my clients to be able to use it on a very regular basis and to not go through that ruddy, dry, damaging blood vessel walls. So, so retinols are so important. They were very, very important in Twee's regimen. And we were able to change her skin dramatically to pick it up, make it healthier, prettier, and really help with some of that pitting and those marks on her cheeks. So that's Twee. Thank you, Mika. If we could move on to another photo here. Okay, so now we're going to be talking about around the mouth area. And if we could move to a picture, Mika, if you don't mind. This area here is the sex organs, you know, sex organs. So that's why often what happens is women, when they're on the contraceptive pill, or have an IUD, or, you know, you do get that dark lining around the mouth. And I myself, I remember when I was on a pill a long time ago, it was really a long time ago, that I also had the marking, and I also had it up on my cheek really bad. And I think I had a little bit on my forehead, and I hated it because people would say, "Oh, Nerida, you've got a dirty mark. Let me just get that off." And I would be like, "No, it's not." So this area here is your female, it's your sex organs here. And, you know, often if you do get that brown line, you know, if you say to your doctor, you know, can you give me another pill? This one here is causing too much pigmentation, melasma. So it's very tricky. It's one of the hardest things for us to get rid of. And once you've got upset pigment cells there, by using something maybe like a hydroquinone for a long length of time, some of these bleaching agents that are now banned here in America. Oh, actually, I don't think they're banned here, but they are banned in other countries because they're found to be cancer causing. One of them being hydroquinone. If it's used for, you know, ongoingly, it is not good. So there are other products and other ingredients that help lighten and brighten melasma, and those ones are the arbutins and the kojic acid and the vitamin C. You know, your flavonoids, your bioflavonoids are things that generally, you know, more the citrus-based, that arnica, some of these things really help to lighten and brighten the skin and are really great additives. So, so this one here, the mouth area, the hormones, it's again, it's maybe going to an endocrinologist and just seeing if your hormone levels are, you know, how well they're doing, and to make sure that that is something that, you know, you keep an eye on, because it's this darkness around the mouth, you know, when we drive, we're in the car, the sun pelting in, it gets this. If you're a darker skin, often you'll see it's darker around this area. You still have to use sunscreen. You know, we all have to use sunscreen, and it's just depending on the SPF. You know, it is very important to make sure you're using that, just to keep that at bay, because if you are on some form of a contraceptive pill, I mean, there's not a lot we can do other than just really protect it. You can use lightening and brightening products to help it, but again, it really needs great sunscreen. So this here is the female sex organs, and as I said, best thing, you know, just go get them tested, see how you're doing with your levels. And normal is kind of a really large, so sometimes you might be very close to the not so normal. So just sort of really, you know, go at it with your doctor and just sort of say, where am I? Like, am I really in the middle? I mean, you know, just really try to sort of help figure that one out. I just want to go back to something with the large intestine again, that I did not mention when we had those photos up, and it's really important to mention this, is that often when things start, they start in the stomach, they spread down to the small intestine here, then it starts spreading down here. Now, this area here, your large intestine, is your organ of emotion, okay? So often people that have a lot of acne here, and not necessarily the hormonal pain painful pimples like Daniela had, but the ones that get a lot of congestion and it starts spreading down the neck. So it starts here on the mid cheek, starts spreading down the neck and this area here and all this area here. This is all large intestine. And what that is it's when people don't go to the bathroom a lot of the time, you know. So it's a great tool, right, for us Estes to know when somebody's coming in, like a lot of congestion, you need to get movement. You need to get movement in that area. Again, movement's so important. And, you know, from a psychological point of view, it's for people that, you know, from their past that have, because it is our organ of emotion, it's the area that holds on to a lot of shit, excuse me, but that's the truth. So it's not wanting to let go. Okay, so maybe, you know, that Louise Hay book of learning to love yourself and understanding the affirmations that maybe you could be saying every single day to help you let go of some of that past stuff, right? Because we want to get movement. The hibiscus too is another flower that can be added into certain things that helps movement. You want to get movement of that large intestine, massaging that stomach area. You know, if you are somebody that has body massages at a normal time, obviously none of us are doing anything too much now, but you know, you want to ask them to do your stomach area. You want to get movement in that. And there's an exercise that I've shown in certain videos, how to stimulate the fascia lata, the meridian to that large intestine. And in fact, if you watch, I did a video recently with Jordan Samuel, one of my dear friends, who I show an exercise in that of what to do, which is just something you can do in your shower every single day. 30 seconds it takes. It stimulates the meridian to the large intestine. So check out that last video we did a couple of weeks ago with Jordan Samuel. I'm not sure if he has it posted anywhere as yet, but if he hasn't, it will be up soon. Or you could reach out to us and we'll let you know when that video's up. But it's getting movement. And so, you know, there's a lot of this, it's a big relationship, you know, what's going on the inside, right, as to what's coming out. Our skin is our largest organ of elimination. So, you know, your foods that you eat, all these things are really important. It's what keeps you healthy, and it's what keeps your skin pretty. So remember that, you know, remember that, guys. I mean, this here is all a reflection of what's going on the inside. You need movement. You've got to swing those arms, push back. My kids are always say to me when I'm walking, you know, they're like, Mom, you're so embarrassing. I can't believe you're, you know, I'm marching, you know, like my father did in the Second World War. I'm like marching, swinging my arms back, and they always say, they're so embarrassing, I'm not walking with you. But, you know, it's really important when you're exercising, you have to push your arm back, okay? It's more important than the forward. It's that back. And that's what moves your lymphatic system. The walking moves your big lymph nodes down in your groin area. You need to keep your skin healthy, and by keeping it healthy, you have to get movement. So this is something that's really, really important. You know, if you know, you can't do anything, you know, with your diet if you just have to have dairy, or you have to do things even though it's affecting your skin. It's really important that you understand that at least when you're walking, swing those arms and get movement, because that will help your skin to be better. Okay, so all these things are really important, and this is what has helped me in my life and in my work be able to get the results that I get with my clients. And what's so great in, you know, these pictures here you've seen of my models is this has happened really pretty quickly. This has not been over a period of 6 months or even a year. I've been able to change people's skin within, you know, 2 or 3 months, and putting them on home care, suggesting certain foods that they need to be having at home, and just how to work with that, you know. So I'm grateful to have been able to share this information with you. It was something that I was so excited and I'm to being able to share, because I was looking forward to, you know, our Congress, talking to all you Estes, but at least here I've been able to share it with a lot of non-Estes as well, and things that, you know, can just help you do better with your skin analysis. So on my 5-star method, which I share, and there's different parts to my 5-star method. Obviously, it's five parts to it. We go into this in more depth. I will be reaching out to my members of my 5-star method. They will be getting a lot more information shortly on this, and where I'll be personally answering questions for them too. So check out 5-star method, everybody. Mika, if you're there, if you can come back on. I have finished my presentation here on face mapping. I'm sorry I wasn't able to answer a lot of your questions, but you know, I know a lot of people, there's been a lot of questions come up, but this was fun, right? You all
This was
learned something
amazing.
new. Yeah, so great.
Thank you so much, Nerida.
Yep, you're so welcome. I'm so glad that we could do this still, right?
I know it feels eerie, but it's nice to know that we're still doing a main stage presentation that you're able to share and that you're sharing with everyone either way. I just wanted to let everyone know, Nouvelles Esthetiques, we also are a digital magazine, so you can get all your information. Our April issue is about to come out, and I have a little teaser for you. Beautiful cover that we have. So, you know, we're still giving information, inspiration, and everything for all you SDs as well. So, you know.
Yeah, I love that magazine. I mean, you know, I used to, 30 years ago, Nouvelles Esthetiques, you know, we had that in Australia. I mean, it's international. And it's something that's great that you can go online, and there's always great articles in there, and just something that's, you know, it's a trade magazine for us SDs, and we're always looking for ways to be able to learn and grow. You know, it's fantastic. So
yes,
thank you for sharing that. Yeah,
thank you.
It's a great one, guys.
Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for, I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, great. I'm so glad. Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Mika, for giving me the opportunity to still be able to talk about something that's so important to me. And thank you, guys, and thank you, everyone, for watching. I'll be back again where we had another show right in Dallas next weekend.
Yeah, so Dallas was supposed to be next weekend.
Yes, so so we'll be doing more, guys. So stay tuned.
And Long Beach in August, and we're still going.
Yeah, we've got more coming up the end of the year too, so we'll be back. So thanks for joining, and
thank you, guys.
I'll be back again really soon.
All right. Bye.
Bye.